Welcome to Hoop-de-Doo, and welcome to the waist tubing tutorial. Waist tubing is what everybody thinks of when they think of hula hooping. Because of the 50s, everybody used these little hoops on their waist. And of course, hooping has evolved a lot since then and really involves a whole lot more than just waist tubing. But this is what everybody wants to be able to do. So this tutorial is on waist tubing. And to start with, if you have osteoporosis, you need to consult your doctor before attempting this. When I first started waist tubing, I used a hoop that is about 40 inches, about this size, and in diameter. And the irrigation tubing is 160 psi, and it's 3/4 inch tubing. So watch my tutorial on how to make a hoop, and you'll learn all about tubing and how to tape it and everything. So the tape adds friction, so it makes it easier. And as adults, you need a bigger hoop. When you were a kid and you had the smaller hoops that you can now buy at Walmart, for some people, they were really easy to do. I tried it when I was a little girl, and I could never do it. So now that I'm an adult and we have bigger hoops, it's fairly easy now. It was still difficult for me to learn it. It took me 6 months because of my osteoporosis. I had a lot of bruising, I had a lot of pain while doing it. But I persevered and actually learned how to body hoop. Waist tubing, chest tubing, leg hooping. And it has reversed my osteoporosis. So let's get started. I'm going to be using a smaller hoop and a little bit lighter weight hoop. So as you can see, the two hoops, the one I'm using is going to be a lot smaller. And as you learn how to hoop, the more things you learn, you'll want to graduate to a lighter weight hoop and probably smaller in diameter. But that's entirely up to you. It's personal preference and whatever works best for you. So with waist tubing, you want to start by holding the hoop against your back. And you want to have your hands fairly close to your body. Okay, just about like that. The hoop against your back, touching your back. If you're right-handed, hooping to the left is your dominant direction. If you're left-handed, hooping to the right is your dominant direction. Now, some people, everybody doesn't follow that. I've known some people who it's just the opposite. They feel comfortable both directions, which is highly unusual, or they will feel more comfortable spinning the hoop to the right if they are right-handed. Okay, so I spin my hoop to the left because I'm right-handed. So you're going to have the hoop against your back, and you are going to give it a push with your right-handed if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, you would do just the opposite of everything I'm doing. So we're going to give it a push, okay? And it will either fall or it will keep spinning. In order to keep it spinning, you have to do something with your body. And that is, you have to push with your body. When you feel the hoop hit your back, then you push with your back. You push out. When you feel the hoop hit your stomach, your abdomen, then you push with your stomach. You push against the hoop. So it's a forward and back motion. So you're going forward, back, and it's in the back and the stomach that you're actually pushing. You don't want to follow the hoop with your body. You want to relax your shoulders, and actually sometimes it helps if you want to keep your arms out to the side. Sometimes that helps with balance, especially if you have osteoporosis. That's what I had a huge problem with, was balance. So that might help if you keep holding your hands out. And you want to make sure that you're really pushing with your stomach and your back equally. The same amount of push with your stomach as you are with your back. If you find the hoop leaning towards the front, it's leaning down as it spins around rather than keeping horizontal to the floor, then that means you're pushing too hard with your back, and you need to push more with your stomach and less with your back. If you find it the opposite, that the hoop is leaning back in the back, down, then that means that you are pushing too much with your stomach. So you need to lighten up on your stomach and push a little bit harder with your back. Because what you'll find is if you're pushing with your back, and some people will really try to push with their back, you'll find the hoop will go vertical. And that's actually another move that we do. Okay, so, but for now, you want to push equally the same amount with the front and the back to keep the hoop horizontal while you're still learning. And you'll see if you're pushing too hard with your stomach, then the hoop will go vertical back down behind you. Same with the sides, okay, because you have 4 places. It's not just your stomach and your back where the hoop is hitting you. Actually, the hoop is going around you, and you will feel it the whole way around. But you can push with the sides also. When you feel it hitting your right side, you push. Some people will go front to back. Some people like to go side to side. And it's a matter of personal preference, whatever you like. Do whatever works. Because the goal is to have it spinning around your waist. Sometimes it helps to put one foot in front of the other while hooping, depending on whether you're right-handed or left-handed or what's more comfortable for you. Maybe the right foot is best for you, maybe the left foot is best. Okay? So whatever is comfortable for you. Now, with the hooping, a lot of times when you first start, and I did this all the time, I would try to follow the hoop. It's hard for me to do it now that I know how. But I would try to follow the hoop with my body because it would be getting away from me and it would be falling. So I was more focused on, oh, there's the hoop and I've got to follow it and try to catch it with my body. If you just focus on your posture and just standing and doing a motion, even practicing without the hoop, of forward and back or side to side, whichever is more comfortable for you, and just focus on practicing that move, and then try it with the hoop and wait for the hoop to come to you. You notice my body isn't moving and trying to follow the hoop. Let the hoop come to you, and when it does, then react to the hoop by pushing, 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 pushing. If you feel the hoop starting to fall down to your hips, and you can actually catch it with your hips, and the hip movement is a side to side. You're hitting, mostly your energy is coming from the right side of the right hip and the left side of the left hip. So that's where you're going to push the hardest. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. When you feel the hoop hitting that right side, you're going to push. Catch it from the side. It's a pushing. Push, 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 push. And focus on, maybe if you have a book on your head, so that you're not all bent over and all, and I know that's hard when you first start, but always when you start waist hooping, just try to relax and let the hoop do the work. I mean, you're doing a lot of work too, but you want to use the momentum of the hoop to help you make it easier. And that, I think, is the hardest thing for beginners who are trying to waist hoop, is waiting for the hoop to do its thing and come to you, and then reacting and pushing. And when you do that, then you're more successful. To help with learning and becoming more comfortable with the waist tubing. There are some things that you can try, and most of it I feel is trying to strengthen the upper body, because that's what affects the waist tubing. One of those is to try putting a hand, holding your hand on your stomach where the hoop is going around, and the hoop is actually hitting your hand. And when it hits your hand, then your hand is where the energy is coming from to push back on the hoop. So if you can see, my hand just moves just a little bit when the hoop hits it. Okay? And it gives you the feel of not trying to follow the hoop with your hands, because it keeps your hands stationary on your stomach, because your hand can't move then. And if you focus on keeping it right about at your waist, then it sort of gives you that practice of the hoop hitting your hand, and you are pushing back with your hand. So you want to try that. And where you want the hoop to hit you is right across here, between these knuckles and these knuckles. You don't want it to hit across the back of your hand, especially if you have osteoporosis, because that will cause a lot of bruising and a lot of pain. Okay? And likewise, when you're trying that, also try putting your hand, one hand behind you on your waist, and you'll find that you're actually hitting the hoop, pushing back with the hoop with that hand rather than your back. And it will sort of give you the feel of the hoop moving, and you not trying to follow the hoop, but trying to respond to the hoop instead, and stay in one place and practice responding to the hoop. That was my big problem when I first started waist hooping. I couldn't do it because I was trying to follow the hoop. And that, I think, is probably the biggest mistake that people make while trying to learn waist hooping. So focus on just standing still, and sometimes only if you feel comfortable with this, because I did not feel comfortable when I first started hooping with closing my eyes. Because I had really poor balance and I would trip all the time. So if you are not comfortable with closing your eyes, don't do it. So if you close your eyes, and you can actually feel the hoop better, and you can feel where it's hitting you, and you can respond better than if you are actually watching the hoop and watching everything around you. It helps you to focus more on how you're responding to the hoop. So try closing your eyes and just feeling the hoop go around your waist, and feel your body responding, your stomach responding, your back responding, and if it starts falling, then start pushing a little more. But that's something that really does help a lot. Okay, and if you feel it start to fall down to your hips, then start going side to side and really give it some push. Really get your hips going. And depending on how fast you move your hips, the hoop will go faster or slower. So it's all up to how fast or how slow you are responding to the hoop. And it takes a lot of practice. It took me 6 months to learn this. So have patience with yourself. Do not get discouraged. If you do get discouraged, because I didn't feel like I would ever learn it because I was not in very good health. And so what I did was I made a smaller hoop, and I started doing hand hooping. When I started hand hooping, that helped me because it gave me strength in my arms and my upper torso, and it helped with the waist hooping because I was actually learning how to respond to the hoop with my hands and my arms rather than my body. And I started learning how it was done. And also, it helped give me the feeling of success in doing another part of hooping rather than just waist hooping. And that helped to encourage me to continue doing the waist hooping. Once you're comfortable with the hoop going around and you're actually doing it, you want to try different things with your arms, and that builds your upper strength also, and it actually helps you with the balance and the coordination with the hoop, because anytime you move your arms to a different position above your head, you will find that, oh no, it's a little bit harder to keep the hoop going. So practicing with your arms in different positions, on your head, behind your head, straight out, on your shoulders, cross your arms in front of you, and you will find that it's a lot harder when your arms are doing something that you have to think about. And it's the same as doing two things at the same time, two different things. It's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy. And that is what hooping is all about, trying to do more than one thing at a time. And it requires not only training your body, but also training your brain to remember these moves and to be comfortable with them. And I think that was the hardest part for me, because many times I couldn't get my brain around what was going on and exactly how I'm supposed to do this. Okay, because I have a lot of trouble with just, oh, well, you just feel it. It's like, okay, and what are you doing when you're feeling it? So those things, do things with your arms. That's one thing. Another thing is to do things with your legs. So if you're just standing here hooping, after a while it gets kind of boring, especially if you're comfortable with it. So you want to try moving one of your feet. So let me move back a bit so you can see my feet. And what you want to do is try to pick up one of your feet. So try to pick up one of your feet and hold it up. If you have trouble with balance, if you have osteoporosis, then you don't want to try this until you gain strength in your legs to balance on one leg. And my tutorials on the twin revolving door with leg hooping are really good for getting balance and strength in your legs. So watch those if you need that. So if you're waist hooping, you want to take a step. Try just taking a step to the side. Lifting, you'll have to shift your weight, because we're going to lift our left leg, and we're going to shift our weight to the right side, and we're going to lift our leg and put it up. And we just lifted it and put it back down to the side. Okay, we're going to lift it again, back down next to the right one. Now we're going to take the right foot, and we're going to lift it and out, up and down. And now we're going to lift the left one to the front. Lift and to the front. And you will find that when you start lifting your leg, it throws you off balance for the waist hooping. And you'll most likely drop it until you get really comfortable with doing that and focusing on doing more than one thing at a time. And you can start trying quarter turns. So we're going to pick up the right leg and we're going to turn to the left. Okay, and now we're going to turn to the back, another quarter turn. And we're going to turn to the left, another quarter turn. Pick up the right leg and turn. Or you can just do a little step. A little step. Okay? So try all those. Also try going in the opposite direction that the hoop is moving. So the hoop is going this way, so I'm going to turn my body in the opposite direction. And you will find that the hoop speeds up. That helps you with balance, with knowing with understanding how the hoop is moving, how you are supposed to move also. Also try turning your body in the same direction as your hoop is going. So I'm going to turn my body in this direction, and you will find that the hoop stalls when you do that. Okay, so try all these things, and you may think of some new different things to try while hooping, waist hooping, and just have fun with it. If you start getting frustrated, it's good to take a few days off from it, and you'll find that when you come back to it, your body will remember what you did, and you'll find it a little bit easier and not as frustrating. And try doing some different things, like I said, with the hoop. Try doing hand hooping and other things also. So you'll be multi-talented. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. If you have a video of you doing the waist hooping and you would like me to help you troubleshoot, send me your video and I would be happy to help you. So good luck and thanks for watching.